Welcome back to another episode of For the Record. I'm Dwayne.
I'm Hope.
And everybody heard about this global outage that happened on Friday.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, all the airlines were grounded.
Banks,
even
media.
Yeah, media companies. Even Starbucks was affected.
Why in the world was Starbucks affected? You know why? Because they had their software.
This is a massive global tech outage impacting what's estimated to be millions of people who are traveling today in need of medical care, or some just trying to get a cup of coffee. Take a look at this. These are the companies that are saying that they are impacted. Just some of them: Starbucks, FedEx, CVS, Bank of America among them. But Martha, it's not just corporate America. 911 call centers are disrupted in states like Alaska, Virginia, and Iowa. Shipments to ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach interrupted. And Portland, Oregon has declared a state of emergency.
Because they had the software. Mm-hmm. So it was a software update that rolled out. The name of the company was
CrowdStrike.
Yeah, CrowdStrike. And it's one company that handles cybersecurity. Had an update to the system, which triggered something in the system and shut down everything.
The whole world. It wasn't just the U.S. Let's make sure everybody understood. It was global. Mm-hmm. So that's the world.
Yeah.
And if you were on that platform, particularly, you were out of gas. You were out of gas yesterday. You couldn't do nothing. We were watching some news feeds, and they were saying the people at OIA, because we live in Orlando, right?
Right.
They couldn't even scroll on their phone. I imagine the mayhem that was going on there.
So you already stranded. Your flights are delayed for hours.
So and some days.
Yeah, days. And imagine when you go to the airport, and everything is working properly.
Right.
You're waiting on your flight. What do? You're scrolling on your phone.
Yes.
Waiting on your flight.
Making
phone calls, listening to podcasts. You listen to For the Record podcast while you waiting on your flight. But yesterday, you're unable to do any of that. Can you imagine? Now some
of y'all weren't able to do that.
Yeah.
Because that was Microsoft. We with Apple. We was fine.
Yeah. No, but listen, we was fine. Because I didn't even know what was going on. But just imagine now people had to sit in an airport and talk to each other.
Yeah. I doubt that happened.
You doubt it?
I doubt. Very few people were talking to each other. I think it was a lot of complaining.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people were just mad sitting there. I wasn't there. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in an airport with all those thousands and hundreds of people and no internet. Zero.
But again, you're in this airport with people. Why not strike up a conversation?
It could have been some good networking time, but I don't know how many of them decided, let's network right now. But you know what was interesting? They had to go back and start writing with paper and pen. They had to do the baggage, the tickets. Yep. So what I also learned during this outage is that some companies are still smart. They're using their analog system. Yeah. They have backup protocols, which is very important for tech. I can't say because all of us use technology. Yeah. You got to have a backup because it's not reliable, we saw yesterday.
So let's talk about a time, because businesses operated before internet was even a thing.
Yes.
I mean, you have companies that go back. Let's go back to the beginning of, even America. Like you have Ford.
The Rockefellers. With Chase and.
Yeah. I mean, all of these big names, even like Nike, they had computers and like animated assembly lines and stuff like that. But even companies like Nike,
IBM back in the day.
All these companies existed and built a brand without internet. So let's talk about a time before internet and how we
look, you're saying that I'm trying to dig back. What was it like before internet? I remember working at a bank before there was internet. We still had those big little computers, tick tick, and we had to write everything. I worked for a credit union,
right?
And the only thing that was really digital then was the ATMs, right?
Yeah,
so you're talking about you're coming into a bank. I'm not on a system typing in your name and your account comes up. I have to pull out this drawer and pull out this piece of paper and see was the last time you made a deposit.
So you worked in a time like that.
I did.
You did.
A credit union. Remember, credit unions aren't like the big banks. So
Right.
it took a while before, and this is 1994, 95.
Yep. So you're absolutely right. And I remember when I was in college in the 90s and just doing research papers and going to the library. You actually had to go into a library, pull out this thing called microfiche.
Yes.
And, that was your internet.
That's the internet.
Yeah.
And it was on this big screen.
Yeah. We had to learn the Dewey Decimal System.
Stop it.
You remember that?
I do, but they don't.
The Dewey, yeah.
The
Of course,
Dewey
if you are a
Decimal.
millennial or what is it, Gen Z, whatever,
You have
probably
no
never heard
idea
of
what
it.
we're talking about.
Yeah, we never. That's why I'm saying, like, our generation, Generation X, we are survivors because we went through so much. We've seen so much.
Yeah, we were right on that cuffs of the turn of the century.
Yes.
When it came to technology. And yesterday showed us that, it showed me as a business, I better have some backup protocols to pull up clients' files, the digital ones. Analog is very time consuming, but after yesterday we better put some things in place, because these computers can do what they want when they want. This episode of For the Record is brought to you by the Boss Move Studios, your content concierge.
Just imagine being in the airport and now we have to strike up a conversation, like we did back in our day. We had to engage with each other. I
think yesterday could have been a learning curve for many of us, like you're saying. That's what we thought of yesterday, that let's talk, right?
Yeah.
I also believe that yesterday showed us that we can't be so dependent on technology, and regardless of what business you're in. We do productions, right? So you want to make sure that your company can thrive or stay afloat without technology, at least for a period of time until it's back up, right? Yeah. That's what I learned yesterday, that we want to make sure as a business and entrepreneurs that your business can live without technology.
And we laugh sometimes at people that have like a Rolodex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we say, look at that, that's old technology. But those things are clutch, because yesterday I'm sure a lot of people went back to those old systems.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the internet is very, very helpful, for business, for everyday life, activities and whatnot. But being without it caused so much anxiety.
Ooh.
I'm saying, I'm sure it did.
Oh, I know, we know it did.
Especially for this generation that was born in this digital age.
I really wish I was in some of the airports. I really wish I was at a bank yesterday. Actually, I did go to the bank yesterday to make a deposit. No issue.
No issue.
Their systems weren't down because maybe Bank of America is not on CrowdStrike network. So we got to make sure. Isn't that sad that we live in a time we want to see what companies are using certain platforms because of yesterday? Because didn't you say Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Elon Musk posted on X that he has deleted CrowdStrike from all of his systems. Unclear which companies he's referring to, or all of them perhaps. And meanwhile, Martha, shares of CrowdStrike taking a battering today in the market, down more than 12.5% when I just checked.
So Elon Musk deleted CrowdStrike from his systems, right? Because he don't want to deal with that if this ever came back, right? Because what happened was they did an update to the system, and that just triggered everything. So, but what I'm also don't understand is, why would one company have that much power?
How did we allow for one company, one entity, to control whether or not America and the rest of the world can be in business?
You get what I'm saying?
That is something to think about.
Yeah.
Again, airlines, banks, and media were affected like that at a stroke of a button that's an update. That wasn't even nothing negative. That was an update. What happens if a bug gets in there?
Yeah, but also 911 calls were affected too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they said 911 calls were affected
see?
in some areas as well.
In some areas.
Yep. So which also shows you that Man,
So in emergency situations, what would you do? Yesterday was a test run. What would you do?
Yeah, that's what you look at it as.
If the internet went down again, certain parts of it, and you lived in certain areas and chaos broke out, and you're telling me even 911 wasn't working, what do we do?
Yep. And even last year, I think they had a problem with 911.
Oh yeah, in some states.
In some states, which is crazy.
Very much.
It's just you calling a line, but now again, once things go digital, it's a whole different ball game.
Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to, but yesterday seemed like a test because, as you said, and many people are, it's on all the networks. How did that happen? How were so many industries affected by one company?
That's not smart.
Who is this one company? And why do they have all of these contracts?
Yeah, that's not smart to rely on that. But again, life before the internet, sometimes we have to keep that. Sometimes we have to make sure that we are not so advanced in our thinking or our business to where we do ourselves a disservice, right? Like you said, what kind of systems can we implement that if something like that were to happen, that we are not just paralyzed? Because not everybody, but a lot of people were paralyzed yesterday. Like what we do, we rely on the internet for certain things, right? Let's say, for instance, we're streaming. Like we had a big job like yesterday when it happened.
Then we A out. Y'all know what that means.
Yeah, you out of gas because you weren't doing anything. So,
but I did figure out some things we could do.
Like
Go back to jump drives.
Yep.
Right. Get out the cloud. The cloud was.
That's it. That's it right there.
Get out the cloud. Get your head out the cloud. Get your business out the cloud. Get your passwords out the cloud.
So you're saying that if it was a cyber attack and someone attacked, they could get all the information. You have no more access to that stored information in the cloud.
In the cloud.
So what we should do is back them up on physical hard drives.
Hard drives.
That's what we should do. And also, if you are any other company or business, you should have these contingencies in place
as well. You have to.
Even if it's your restaurant, a dry cleaner, a car wash, or grocery stores or whatever.
And check this out. Okay, with the banks, because they don't want you to withdraw a certain amount of money. That's fine. But I'm going to have me some postal service money orders because they never expire.
Good
so
idea.
if I need, that's cash, right? So I'm going to get me a certain amount. So if I need to do an exchange, here's some money. When the service come back on, you got your money.
Can you imagine? This might be comical, but those that worked in like those little stores in that airport, and now you had to the kiosk. You couldn't use your debit card. You know what I'm saying?
Hungry.
Boy, you couldn't. What did they do?
Oh my gosh, I didn't think. How did they eat yesterday? Were y'all giving away free food at certain at the airports?
Yeah, and some places don't accept cash.
A lot of places are not accepting cash. So I hope they. Oh my gosh, this is so. Listen, if you were directly affected yesterday by the outage, jump in the comments. Let's talk about this. Yeah. What's your business and what's going to be your backup plan? That's what we're talking about today about this outage. What is your business and what's your backup plan?
Yeah, that's something to think about. And you don't think about it until it happens. You know?
I would have never thought that outage would happen globally with all the different technology. You know, in your brain, you think, oh, there's a backup for the backup for the backup. But yesterday we realized there's no backup. Did anybody pick it? There is no backup to the system. There was no generator.
No,
when it shut down, it go when the generator kicked in. None of that.
No.
So what I'm doing this week, because I handle all the admin, I'm getting all of our documents analoged. I'm gonna copy some papers, and Dwayne's gonna put all the videos and all our content on jump drives.
Yeah, because we do have cloud storage, but I can't trust that because it will be gone. If it was a real cyber attack, all of that information gone. Kaput.
Now go get those boxes. People saying put your important papers in. Now a couple of years ago when it came out, I was like, man, I'm going paperless.
Yeah,
remember everybody saying I'm going paperless. Don't be giving me no paper. Email me. No, give me my paper. I'm going to get me a box and keep all my important. Give me paper again. I want my receipt.
Yeah. So if you have paper, let's say you implement that back into your workflow, right? all you gotta do is scan it in, and you can store that on the hard drive as well.
Exactly.
I mean, it's more work, but I'm trying to tell you, going
work is
paperless
worth it.
it's good for organizational purposes, yes. But what happens with that information when you don't have access to it anymore?
Exactly.
You know?
I'm sitting here thinking now that we're talking about this. So yesterday I was at the bank. Normally I get a paper receipt. Yesterday was the first time I was asked, do you want an email or paper receipt? I said, oh, email. Right? But what if this global outage, I don't want to say cyber attack.
Yeah.
What if this global outage was more than that? And I made this deposit and the computers went out and there was no record that I made this deposit. I'm keeping all my paper receipts going forward. This is the last time I made a deposit.
Yeah.
This is how much. So when it come back online, this is what you owe me. This was supposed to be in my account.
You know what? Like I said, I'm Generation X. And you know, when you go to places nowadays, they ask you, do you want a receipt? And I ask for a receipt. Even though when I get a receipt, when I walk out the door, I'm throwing it right in the garbage. I don't know. It's just something like, yeah, give me my receipt.
Habit.
It's a habit.
Right.
Yeah, it's a habit. But when you have a business, please have these contingency plans in place. I'm trying to tell you, because if it happens, we saw it happen.
Yesterday was scary.
And it seemed like it's more frequent. It's happened more frequent now.
Yeah, what do you call it? The lighting grid in different places.
Yep.
The electrical grids are being infected. Media is being infected. It's so many different industries that are getting hit by these cyber global outages, that it makes me nervous, right? And in previous podcasts, we were talking about AI and all of this.
Wow.
I mean, AI couldn't fix this issue?
No.
Or did AI cause this issue? Is there an actual person still programming, or they're letting computers do it as robots? So again, I don't know tech like that and cyber stuff to know the ins and outs, but to me, yesterday should not have happened.
Yeah.
With the level of technology that we have, it should not have happened, but it did. So what you gonna do?
It's this restaurant that we attend. It's a vegan restaurant. Not going to name it because they're not a sponsor, but
Okay.
they don't accept cash.
At all.
You know, I don't know if they were affected by the outage, but what do you do in that case? Do you start accepting cash? Do you even know how to
That's a
accept
good
it?
question.
You know?
Did people go back to cash yesterday? And if they didn't, and because you're cashless, you lost out on a lot of money
Yeah.
yesterday.
'Cause-
Oh my Linda,
what I'm
there's
saying
so much
is-
to consider here.
What I'm saying is, what if they were not able to fix it in a timely fashion, right? Let's say it was out for weeks, months. You know what I'm saying?
And you're a cashless business.
Mm-hmm.
How you make money? You're not. You're gonna have IOUs. You're going back to the credit system.
Yeah. See, that's what I want to know. If you are a business that is cashless, comment below. Or you work for a company or business that is cashless. What do you do in those situations, right?
When your POS goes down, your point of sale, however you collect your money, and all you do is accept debit cards and credit cards, and that system goes down, how you making money? You close for the day, and as Dwayne said, if it closed for a week, are you going to close for a week? How are you going to make money? Look, we could go on all day about this, but we wanted to bring it to you because yesterday was very interesting.
Yeah.
Make sure you have some backups to your backups. Get that stuff out the cloud.
Yep.
Put it on some paper.
Put it on some paper.
Put on some jump drives. Get you a important box. What do they call it? It's a name for it. I don't know, but where you keep your important papers.
Right.
Get you that box. Listen, yesterday was a learning opportunity.
Yeah. And then, like, for those younger individuals, Generation X and Y.
No,
and
Generation Z.
Z?
And Alphas. Yeah.
Okay, we're Generation X. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I don't
Shame.
mean to link
Please don't.
our greatness with that, but
Please don't.
yeah, please don't. But millennials, Generation Y and Z,
Yeah.
who don't know life without the internet, right? And it's just different because the communication is not the same. You know, when you were at a party. A birthday party, right?
Yes.
You said there were no young people talking. Everybody was on their phone.
Every single person.
You know?
And they were communicating. They were right there with each other, but they were communicating with each other
Via text.
on the phone.
Via text.
Yeah.
That's it.
So imagine what yesterday happened. What did they do? But for those of us in the Gen X era, we still know how to be without technology.
Yeah.
We know how to survive. We know how to write. Right? A lot of these generations, they only use computers. They don't even know how to write.
Yeah.
We know how to tell time.
Oh yeah, on
Right?
an analog clock.
Yes.
I remember we were working. We had a team of young people, right? And there was this clock, and I told this young lady to. I asked her what time it was because we got to get started, right? And you should have saw the look on her face.
She didn't know.
And she whispered like,
please don't say nothing.
please don't say this is embarrassing. And this girl's supposed to be smart. What
she was like 26.
Yeah, she was 26. She said, I don't know how to read that clock.
Yes.
And I didn't, it was funny to me.
We chuckled later. We laughed.
We chuckled later, but I didn't want to embarrass her. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, well,
that says 2:15.
Yeah, that says it's 2:15.
Yeah. So how many of you all yesterday didn't know how to tell the time? I mean, before internet, it's so hard for me to go back. I see you're going back and remember that. It's so hard because it's the convenience of it.
Right.
I remember being in college when the internet, and y'all remember Net Zero? That's what it was called.
Right.
And you had to dial up.
Took so long.
So you would plug it in and go do other stuff.
Yep. It was up. The internet is up. It's running.
Y'all remember AOL and all of that? I mean, listen, we have come a long way. The bottom line is yesterday's outage, I hope it woke up business owners. I really hope it put us in a different mindset. Again, get your stuff out the cloud, get it on these jump drives, get you some hard drives, and start writing things down. And for those of you who use your phone for everything, you don't know people's phone numbers?
Oh man, that's me.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
I know. I can at least 5 people. The 5 most closest people to me, I know all of your numbers. I can dial your number.
Yeah, I memorized yours.
What's my number?
I ain't gonna say it out loud, but I know it. I know yours, mom, and my dad number by heart.
See?
But if you know,
and 911.
Yeah, I know 911, but you couldn't even call 911.
Couldn't even call 911.
That's the thing. You couldn't. Oh man, and you said a thing that's valuable. Learn to live without it. Try to put it away sometimes. Remember, we were living in Tennessee.
Yes.
And we were going somewhere, and I realized I left my phone.
Oh, we were going into the mountains for the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to the mountains for the day, and I left my phone. At first, I was like
antsy and agitated.
Yeah, but I got in the moment.
Yes.
I seen this God's creation, these mountains, and I forgot about the phone.
And I said, I'm gonna leave mine in the car. You don't have one, I don't have one. Yeah. And it was the best 4 hours we had in a long time. We didn't hear no bing, no notifications.
Nothing.
Now, did we feel our hands trying to reach for the phone? Yes, but that quickly went away. And we were in the forest. We were climbing the mountains. We sat by the lakes. Listen, learn to live without AI at least an hour a day. I'm going to start with I already do it, so I'm sharing with you all. I learned to live without technology at least an hour a day. I lay my phone down.
And I shared on the podcast a couple of podcasts ago how I was overwhelmed one day just with all this information because we live in an information society that's like overloaded.
Yeah, because it's not real information.
Yeah,
they just putting stuff out there.
I had to put the phone away for, like you said, an hour, and I felt much better.
Yes.
But you imagine people are on it all day long.
All day long.
Online, on their phone. And just not really doing the human engagement anymore.
You know what just popped in my mind?
What's that?
I wonder if healthcare was affected. Were hospitals affected?
I think so. Yeah, they did say that because some surgeries had to be rescheduled.
What if those people were in the middle of surgery? What if people were on life support? What if people were on dialysis? Again, let me stop because we could talk about this all day. But I hope that the outage taught us yesterday, get your stuff out the cloud.
Yep, and to go back to more human interactions. Yes. That's what we're lacking nowadays.
Yes.
We're a business. We're in business. Even with businesses, let's, like you always say, support each other more in 2024. Yes. But let's also engage with each other more. You know,
not just for the purposes of making a sale. Let's sit and talk and collaborate. And hey, what can we do to better the community, better your? Because a lot of time, I'm loving what you just brought up, because that is so true. That is so lacking. Now people only want to connect with you to sell you a service or a product. That's the only reason why they want to be your friend. We want to, as the Boss Smooth production studio, we want to build genuine connections and relationships with people.
Exactly. And don't just have social media friends. Have actual people that you connect with.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because before social media, you had a phone with a list of, well, you didn't have a phone. Hold on. What did you do?
You had your Rolodex.
You had a black book.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a little black book or Rolodex.
And we memorized.
And we memorized numbers. But what do? We picked up the phone and called them. But nowadays, we always see this meme, text me, I don't want to talk. You get what I'm saying?
Guilty of that, yeah.
I'm
guilty of that sometimes, and that's why I'm learning to put my phone down for an hour and actually have conversations. If my sister calls, or my mother-in-law, or a friend, right? I want to get on the phone and talk, not hey, how you doing? Wait for a response. I mean,
I remember you said that. You said that when you talk to your sister, you rather y'all text, but it's nothing like an actual conversation.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll start off with text and be like, girl,
just call me.
Let's just talk. Yeah. What are we doing? You know, so I'm glad that you brought that element out, that let's be more human again. Let's touch humanity before technology crashes.
And last thing, remember the fear that people had in 1999 when they were fearful of Y2K? Yeah. They didn't know what was going to happen when the clock struck. 2000. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
You know, there was no global outage like it was yesterday.
That speaks volumes. That was 24 years later, and we had a global outage with technology. So that's supposed to be advanced.
Exactly. So all we're saying is just prepare yourself, your business, for if this happen again, which it probably will.
It will.
You know, and the next time it might be a cyber attack.
And next time it could be Apple platform. This time was Microsoft. It could be any other. We don't know. They don't know, right? It's not perfect. Technology is not a perfect science.
But as business owners and podcasters, we just wanted to bring you, some nostalgia if you grew up in the era without internet, and some real facts if you were born in an era with, you just know all internet, that's all you know is internet. So we just wanted to bring, some human elements to this podcast.
Yeah. So, anything else?
Well, I don't have anything.
This is a very fun topic. I hate that it happened.
Yeah.
But it was good to talk about, because I'm sure a lot of people were like, what are we going to do? I'm sure a lot of people was like this yesterday. What do we do with our business? And we hope that we brought you some valuable information. Get that stuff out the cloud.
Yep.
Start copying papers again.
Get your Rolodex.
Laminate those papers so the ink, the color doesn't fade. We know what we used to do before the internet. We know how we used to back up. Yep. Oh, last thing before we go, I wish we had a picture. I'm gonna check and see. We moved a few times in the last 5 years. We did a lot of traveling and on assignment, and we had a bin, a plastic Rubbermaid bin.
Yes.
The big one, loaded from the top to the bottom with important papers for the last 20 years that we've been together. Taxes, this and that. Looking back, I'm mad that we put all that stuff on, and made it digital.
Right.
We should have left it in the bin, but I said we spent $150 to shred that bin, because we put everything in the cloud, everything on a disk. So the stuff on the disk is safe, but now I got to get that stuff out the cloud. Yeah. So if you have a bin of papers, keep your bin of papers. People may laugh at that. It's like it's a bunch of clutter, but hey, if you're looking for something, if you really need it, it's there. It's there.
But so we just wanted to come on today, talk about it. It's real.
It's real.
Be prepared, because this will happen again. Not if it's going to happen again. It will happen again. And the next time it happens, it might be for weeks, months.
Yeah. And everybody's affected. Every bank, every hospital, every airline. Anything that has to do with tech may shut down. That's everything. If you got a smart TV, if you got a smart refrigerator, whatever, is going to shut down.
Oh, boy.
So let's just remember, again, we could talk about this all day. It's so much to consider. So don't be fearful. Go and do your due diligence and make sure you have what you need.
Yep. Leave us a comment about what happened, if you were affected, and what you're doing to change if it happens again, you know, just to not be affected. So yeah, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time. Later.
Sharing knowledge, making moves. We a microphone for the record. We got the facts. For the record, we run the tracks. We in the business, no time to play.
Thanks for watching. Bye.